Okay, SPY gave the little bounce that we thought it was. We talked about it yesterday, just saying, did we get capitulation on this move? I actually didn't know what was happening because I wasn't expecting actually I wasn't expecting the gap down on the futures in the morning. So when it gapped down, I was like, wow, they might even take it a bit further. But if we look at the price action on the 30-minute, you can see they took it down, but pretty much went sideways for most of the day. But again, if you go to shoot, higher time frame, you can see that it went up. I mean, it made a nice little dip, then went up, broke above these highs, and then just pretty much was flat. I don't put this any way to say, it's time to go long. Again, I'm looking for what it's going to do up to a certain point, up to this previous pivot. And if it weakens on volume, then it'll be just a nice opportunity to continue with the short side. But again, this is why didn't want to chase, because again, it doesn't take much to squeeze. If you didn't get squeezed out yesterday, there might be people that are undisciplined that uh, just couldn't wait for the setup. You just got to wait for the setup. And if it's daily, you might have to wait a couple days, keep doing your homework, or find something else to do, because you have to be able to be in front of the charts and not trade when a trade is not present with the strategy that you're using, with the rules that you're using. Because if you say, shit, I missed all of this move right here going down, that's fine. You kind of just want to study the pattern and see if there's something that you could see, because all the patterns repeat themselves. But again, this was a lot of volatility going on at this, especially around this area. So if you say, shit, I didn't know where it was going to go. That's fine, because you didn't know if it was going to go down or up. But now you don't just start shorting every one bar up breaks a low. I mean, again, I would give it some time to really prove that the retracement has the volume you need that's decreasing. And then if you just see a nice candle that you could get an entry on a lower low below this previous pivot, then we're in better shape for the short. IWM again, if you were shorting this one, again, it gapped up and stayed up. So we want to see how much juice we got going in these high volumes. So again, the capitulation was put in place. Now we just have to see how this one plays out. See, yes, on the 30-minute, you can see that it definitely had some strength from pretty much the low was of the open yesterday, came back in, found support. And if you want to even look at it from an intraday aspect, you say how deep was the retracement? It was pretty deep, 60, 62, 78%. But again, it gave the low high and then closed up, and then pretty much is continuing right now. So that looks pretty good on the intraday time frame. But again, the daily chart, you could definitely see that there's nothing really. You got to be really cautious with going long right here and saying, okay, this is a dip that you're willing to buy because it is deep. You can see it's 100% from the prior retracements. So that's something you have to be cautious about. The composite on the weekly, again, if you did the fib from this level, you're right at 62%. But again, I'm looking at it to say it rolled. Not only you just don't blindly take these fibs. You kind of want to see the price action. That's why I kind of like to see. And remember, this is why I'm saying it's grinding. It comes back, breaks high, grinds back in, breaks high, grinds back in. Not that bad. This one was pretty good because it layered above this pretty high one. But now it's breaked above, and now it's clearly back in. So this is showing to me, until further notice, a weakening of the bulls. So we have to see what happens. Last but not least, we have the diamond weekly, and you see again, this is still not something I would want to even go remotely long in, even on a break of a high, because again, it's way below this pivot. If you're doing that, you're just going to be scalping. Nothing's wrong with scalping as long as you define what you're doing and know what you're doing. Okay, so with that being said, let's look at some names. Apple's breaking down. I had a turn date of 9/16. No, excuse me, 9/17. So we'll see what happens. Maybe something happened tomorrow. Who knows? But again, the price action is showing relative strength based on all the movement that has been going on with the composite. This one is definitely showing some good life. Netflix, huge gap down. Again, you know, they had a good time today. If you took it, you could have just pretty much traded the bounce, because people that were short here definitely covered and kind of went from there. You got GoPro actually coming up against support. It might be layering in. If you get a higher low, you see the volume is pretty much dying down to the downside. So this might be an opportunity to get back long if you're thinking about it. Might be something good. Tesla continues to. We have to see what's going on with the bounce coming from these pivot low right here. Again, want to see how much juice this has to the upside, if it's going to have any. Okay, and then we see how it is, and if it comes up even remotely to this gap, or even up to this level right here, this 251 level, it could be another short setting up until proven otherwise. Solar City, again, looks pretty good. I want to see how high it gets up and what the volume looks like, if it increases or it just gives me an opportunity to get short. Facebook is breaking down a little bit. Looking at the weekly, excuse me, not bad price action. Again, this one showed relative strength with all the crap that was going on, but it needs to hold these levels, because it looked like it just came to fill this gap. Yep, came to fill this gap, so we want to see if we could break above a high or anything like that. But again, this price action has been really crappy, and you can see the grind that's been going on for a while. I mean, you're talking about what it took. This is July. It went all the way to September just to clear that level, and it really ain't clear by much. So September, you got, if you trade the breakout, it really didn't give you much until another month or two. So it's been active, but this could be accumulation to the upside, or maybe it's, you know, it could be like a rounding pattern to start speeding up the move to the downside. We shall see. So again, patience, look for your proper setups, and continue to, if you're unsure, you know, cash is a position, and for a lot of people that's probably the most profitable position they're in. And now you're going to have to be patient again, like I said, because yesterday I said this looked like a capitulation. I thought actually I was going to be wrong once the market opened, but it ended up closing. I was like, okay, you know, it could have squeezed a lot of people to the that were trying to go short again, because again, these things don't go straight up or straight down. So we are respecting some type of tracement. We just got to really hone in and look on that volume. Take care.